Assalamu alaikum. 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Farzana Khan. First, the headlines. Speaker Malaysian Assembly says Kashmir is an international dispute and should be resolved in accordance with UN resolutions and aspirations of Kashmiri people. An all-parties conference in Islamabad today categorically rejected Indian government's move to change demography of occupied Kashmir. Indian occupied Kashmir remains cut off from the rest of the world as strict curfew continues on the fifth consecutive day today. Prime Minister says the government has a priority to make special economic zones fully functional to expedite industrial development in the country.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك.
Hajj rituals began today with the arrival of tens of thousands of Hajjaj in Mina. Iran says any Israeli involvement in maritime coalition in the Gulf is a clear threat to country's national security and Iran has the right to confront it. And now the news in detail. Speaker National Assembly Asad Kaisar made a telephonic contact with his Malaysian counterpart Muhammad Arif Yusuf and apprised him of the deteriorating situation in occupied Kashmir in the wake of revocation of Articles 35A and 370 by the Indian government. Asad Kaisar said this cruel Indian step is a new assault on the rights of besieged people of Kashmir. He informed his Malaysian counterpart that the articles had been included by founders of India in the constitution as part of commitment to UNSC resolutions on peaceful solution of Kashmir dispute. He said the people of the Held Valley are protesting against this cruel act. He said curfew has been imposed in Kashmir and governor rule enacted after suspending the Legislative Assembly. Asad Kaisar further informed that all communication channels are closed in the held territory and serious human rights violations are being perpetrated in the valley. Malaysian speaker said he is aware of the situation in occupied Kashmir and his government is carefully watching it. Muhammad Arif Yusuf said Kashmir is an international dispute and it must be resolved according to aspirations of Kashmiri people and the relevant UN resolutions. He assured full support to movement of Kashmiri people on their right to self-determination. Speaker Turkish Grand Assembly Mustafa Sentop has assured his Pakistani counterpart to pass a resolution on the issue of Kashmir. The assurance came in a telephonic call that was made by Speaker National Assembly Asad Kaisar to him as part of wider outreach efforts in the wake of Kashmir situation. Asad Kaisar took the Turkish counterpart into confidence on deteriorating situation in the region, particularly Kashmir. A meeting between Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi and his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi is underway at Diyarbakir State Guest House, Beijing. On arrival at the State Guest House, the Chinese Foreign Minister warmly received Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi. Shah Mahmood is in China on an important diplomatic mission in view of the deteriorating situation of peace and security in the region in the aftermath of imposition of unilateral and unconstitutional steps by India in occupied Kashmir. An all-parties conference presided over by AJK Prime Minister Raja Farooq Haider Khan in Islamabad today categorically rejected India government's move to change demography of Jammu and Kashmir, saying that such acts are against the United Nations resolutions. The meeting issued a declaration terming India's abrogation of Article 370 of its constitution as a dirty conspiracy to change the status of occupied Kashmir against the will of its people. The APC rejected any kind of division of the occupied valley and vowed to continue struggle till achieving right to self-determination. Occupied Kashmir remains cut off from the rest of the world as strict curfew continues on the fifth consecutive day today. According to Kashmir Media Service, India deployed thousands of troops in every nook and corner of the occupied territory to prevent people from staging demonstrations against the repeal of Article 370. Over 560 political leaders, including Farooq Abdullah, Omar Abdullah, Mehbooba Mufti, and Sajjad Lone, have been detained since India announced to repeal Article 370. The shortage of essential commodities is aggravating the situation with every passing day as it is becoming difficult for the residents to acquire milk, dairy items, and medicines for children and patients. In occupied Kashmir, 2 dozen Hurriyat activists have been arrested by Indian forces in order to prevent demonstrations against the repeal of Article 370. The arrested Hurriyat leaders were taken in a special plane of Indian Air Force to Uttar Pradesh and lodged in Agra Central Jail. The occupation authorities also keep internet and telephone links suspended and snapped television, telephone, and internet links to prevent demonstrations. This is Radio Pakistan giving you the news. Prime Minister Imran Khan says the government has a priority to make special economic zones fully functional at the earliest. He was speaking at a briefing on current condition of special economic zones in the country, provision of necessary facilities to the industries in the zones, and strategy to make them functional in Islamabad today. The Prime Minister said it is important to make special economic zones fully functional for expediting industrial development in the country and solving problems of the business community. Besides, he said it will also help create employment opportunities for the youth and skilled people. Prime Minister Imran Khan says the government is making all-out efforts to promote tourism in the country. Talking to a delegation of World Tourism Forum led by President of the Forum's Executive Board, Vilut Bejel, in Islamabad today, he said there is great potential in different areas of tourism in the country which is being exploited. The Prime Minister said 8 new tourism resorts will be developed in 8 coastal areas in Baluchistan.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد
Annual Hajj rituals have begun in Makkah with the arrival of tens of thousands of pilgrims in Mina. About 2 million Muslims from across the globe have arrived in Makkah to perform Hajj. A total of 200,000 pilgrims from Pakistan are also performing Hajj as per quota given by Saudi Arabia. Radio Pakistan's correspondent Muhammad Akram Khan reports from Makkah that intending pilgrims started pouring in Mina last night. Pilgrims will remain in Mina until Fajr next morning tomorrow, the 9th of Zulhajj. Then the Hujjaj will proceed to the valley of Arafat and offer Zuhr and Asr prayers. The Hajj sermon will be delivered at Masjid-e-Nimra in Arafat. On the same day, pilgrims will leave for Muzdalifah after sunset without offering Maghrib prayers to the said along with Isha in Muzdalifah. Afghan ambassador to Pakistan Shakarullah Atif Mashal called on Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa at GHQ in Rawalpindi today. During the meeting, matters of mutual interest, ongoing Afghan reconciliation process, and overall regional security situation were discussed. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has stressed the need for timely elections in the country. During his first campaign rally in the province of Paktia, he said the polls are the only way to ensure an enduring peace in the country. He reiterated that he will not allow warlords to interfere in government affairs if he is re-elected in the polls. Iran says any Israeli involvement in maritime coalition in the Gulf is a clear threat to country's national security. In a statement, Foreign Ministry spokesman Abbas Mousavi said that in such case, Iran has the right to confront the threat. Earlier, Israeli media reported that Israel is a part of possible U.S. maritime security coalition. In India, 22 people have died due to landslides and flooding in Kerala state caused by torrential monsoon rains. The disaster also forced the evacuation of more than 22,000 people and the closure of Cochin International Airport. And finally, the weather report. Widespread rains and wind thunderstorms are expected in Sindh, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Rawalpindi, Gujranwala, Sargodha, DG Khan divisions, Kashmir, at isolated places in northeast Balochistan, Quetta, Job, Sibbi, Nasirabad, Kallat divisions, Lahore, Faisalabad, Multan, Bahawalpur, and Sahiwal divisions. Isolated heavy falls are also expected in Karachi, Thatta, Hyderabad, Mirpur Khas, Job, Sibbi, Nasirabad, Kallat, Hazara, Rawalpindi, Gujranwala, Lahore, Faisalabad, DG Khan divisions, Kashmir, and Islamabad during the next 12 hours. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.